Hundreds in Carbondale paid their respects to the 9/11 victims. SIU held its first ever 9/11 Saluki Stair Climb.
That's right, Brooke. Local veterans, athletes, and active duty military all honored those victims. News 3's Danny Valle has a recap from Saluki Stadium.
It's the home of the Salukis, but on this day, it's the home of the brave.
What courage they had that day to risk it all for complete strangers. That's dedication right there.
Most remember where they were.
I was in Texas, and I was in my office right outside of Dallas-Fort Worth Airport when the first plane hit.
How they felt.
We watched what was going on the cameras and on the TV, and it was just very an overall sadness of what was happening to our world.
It's a day of grief and remembrance for a generation of witnesses and the next generation of heroes.
People talk about how they've never seen a day where everybody was united as Americans more than that day.
The 9/11 Saluki Stair Climb simulates walking all 110 floors of the World Trade Center's Twin Towers. Each trip up and down the stairs equals one floor. Not an easy challenge.
It was tough, but it's not even amounts close to what they did that day. I'm shaking a little bit.
Especially when you opt for the full experience. Some firefighters wore their gear because that day, comfort was not an option.
I feel absolutely exhausted. I can't imagine what they had to go through that day, but doing this in full gear, going just around 4 laps, gives me a mindset of what actually they had to go through that day.
To walk in a firefighter's boots is to face life or death, equipped with courage, bravery, and unity.
And you got all that heat on top of you, so, I mean, it's a nice cool day today, this morning, but I can only imagine what it was that day.
After 22 years, the fallen are not forgotten, as the more than 300 people proved at Saluki Stadium.
I think everyone that came out today is just a great patriot.
One step at a time.
I really remember that time of just being awestruck at the unity that we had, the support that we had for each other, and just the concept of we can't ever let this happen again. And so we kind of banded together that way.
In Carbondale, I'm Danny Valle, News 3.